Okay, thank you for joining us in the second session of the Identity Access Management Capsule Training courses. The first session, we covered the basics of the security architecture and what is the meaning of security architecture and what are the advantages of the security architecture for your organization and for your security blueprints. And also we highlight some important definitions as the IAM, which is identification, authentication, authorization, and accounting, and we covered the most important definitions for the authentications, for the authentication factors, and the two-factor authentication and multiple-factor authentication as well. Now we will start another very interesting topic and very important topic for security people who are working in security, which is the identity access management. By the way, just I want to highlight a very important issue. In some situation, it is we mentioned the abbreviation as we type it IAM, and in some other books or training courses, it will be mentioned identity access management like that. Whatever the, sorry, not like that, M is capital. Then whatever the way which it will be used, it is the same concept. It should not make any confuse for you. Then it will be Identity Access Management, IAM, or IDM, Identity Access Management, as it is written here. Okay, let's have a quick look on the Identity Access Management goals. Why do we need IAM in our organizations? IAM, it is very, very important. To understand why IAM is very important, let's have an example about the infrastructure and how the companies, it will create username and passwords and permissions for the users without identity access management. Usually what's going on, you are hired in a new company, then your manager may ask for username for you and the password, then you will be able to access your email and network resources and so on. Then the security administrator, he will define this username and password, and he will give you the password. You will be able to change it first time when you will log in, and it will assign you some permissions, and after some time you may find some missed permissions. Then you will ask security administrator, then we will give you these updates and so on. All activities which are carried out by human persons, it may have some mistakes or weakness, and it can create some risks. In some situations, security administrator, he forgot to revoke your permissions for specific applications after you are promoted or transferred to a different position. Then this means that you have an accumulative permissions and you don't need all these permissions. And unfortunately, these permissions, it can be considered as risks, especially if your account is hacked or someone, he was using your account. In some other situations, unfortunately, for some security persons, they are looking for their boss or the CEO as the big entity in the organization, and usually they are giving him administrator and full permissions. This is a wrong concept, because by the end of the day, the CEO, he is a normal user and he must have normal permissions which it should be assigned to him. You have to define the rules. For example, if I am working for the security department, what are the application and services which I have to use it? And if I am working for service desk, what are the other applications and services which are used? I am authorized to use it. If I am working for sales department, I must have an access for CRM. Otherwise, if I am working in security department, I don't need the CRM. It's not a part of my job to have a look on the information of the my customers. It may violate some privacy laws and GDPR, for example. And it depends upon your role. What are the permissions required for you? Then you will be able to do your job and your job responsibilities in a proper way. But as you can see that the identity access management, it will help to resolve all these problems. Number one feature, it will help you to define the roles and responsibilities. What are the roles, managing the roles? When you have maybe sales department, you may have security department, you may have finance department, you may have service desk, whatever any department, and under each of these departments you may have some managers and you have some employees and so on. Each one of these, it will be considered as a role, and we must have some specific permissions, and of course the permissions which it will be assigned for a manager, of course it will not be assigned for the normal users, because normal users, they may have access. This, suppose that this user 1 and this user 2, user 1 have access for application X and user 2 have access for application Y. Of course the manager must have access for X and Y, because in this case the manager, he will manage both of them, and he wants to see the reports, to see the records which it's entered by the user 1 and user 2. Then he must have all for the user manager as a role. He must see the permission for X, Y, and Y applications. For user 1 role, he must see X only. For user 2, he must see Y only. Then this where you have to define the rules and what are the access privilege required. Here, access privilege, it is application X and application Y. Also, you have to define and manage the circumstances where the users are granted these permissions, how the users, it will assign these permissions. How the users, it will be assigned this permission, and also it should, in the third point, the digital identification per each individual. By each person, he must have individual or unique account. Then if you have Osama, then his account, it must be unique, Osama. Don't say that Osama, he can use it by 5 or 6 users. No, it's not accepted in security at all, because this means that it will be against the accountability. You will not be able to know who deleted the record. Is it Osama 1 or other users, or who deleted? You don't know, because you are giving, in some situation, we are trying to make life easy. Okay, I will have one username for finance, one other name for service desk, and one for finance, and one for security, and one for sales, and all this stuff. This is wrong, and it's not accepted. Each one must have his own unique account. It must have the right permissions where they have to use it, and all the activities, it should be recorded using this account. When if he is trying to violate the security policy for the organization, or to access any data which he is not authorized to access it, then he will be able, the security administrator, he will be able to catch it, and he will be able to discover all the problems which he is trying to do. There is one important point here, my friends, regarding the IDM, how we can enable the IDM and how it's working. Usually in IAM, the main objective of IAM, and just keep it in your mind, what is our main objective for IAM? Main objective, automation. Automation. This is our main objective. You must have automation. How it will work? For example, now a company hired me. I am a new employee. Then what you have to do, you have to go to the HR department and say, hi, how are you? My name is Osama. I received a letter from you that I am hired in IT department. Okay, Thank you. You are most welcome. We are happy that you joined us. Please give us your papers. You will provide them with secure certificates, graduation certificates. You will provide them with other experience certificates. For example, in some situations, we will ask you for some papers from police station that you are not involved in any crimes or whatever. Then the HR department, it will take all these paper and it will make some screening and make sure that you are clean and you don't have anything against you when you will be hired. When they will update their system in the HR system, of course, when you are hired, they will create a record for you, and they will create a record for you in the HR system. Then automatically, it will create an email, and this email, it will go to your direct manager. Because now for the HR application, it knows the organization structure, it knows that the Osama, he is a new employee, it's defined by the HR team in the application that you will be hired as security engineer. Then it will send the new email to the security manager. It will reach to the security manager. The security manager, he will check it, he will approve it, and after it will be approved, it will send another automatic. Look here, I'm saying automatic because this it will be the automation. We are not dependent upon people here. We are not dependent upon people. This is not our target. And the identity access management, the main objective here is the automation. Main objective here in identity access management is the automation. Then the email here, I will receive when the HR, it will send an email to the security manager, then he will receive this email, he will approve it, and automatically the system, it will send another email into the security department. This email, it will say that please create an account. This account, it will have a specific name, which the IDM, it will have its standard. It may be first name and dot second name, or dot last name, or maybe first name, first letter from last name, whatever the way which it will be followed in creating the identity access management. We don't care about it. And finally, the security administrator, he will receive it, and of course he will receive the your role in the organization. As we said here, this is the role, and this role, it is defined in the IDM. It's already defined in the IDM, but you should be able to access the specific applications, and by default, when you will be assigned this role, then automatically you will inherit all the permissions for this role. And as you can see here, we don't have anything depend upon people. We don't have anything depend upon people. HR, they received your papers, they do this screening, they create your record. Automatically, the HR system, it will send an email to your manager. He will approve it. Then the system, he will receive the approval email from your security manager. Then it will create another email for the security department. The security department, it will receive the account information, and what is the role, then what it have to do, just to create this account and assign the role. Automatically you will inherit all the information. And the same concept, if you are moved from one location to another. HR, it will say that Osama is moved from the security department into IT department. Then when I move, it will update the HR system. The HR system, it will send an email to the manager for the security and for IT department. When both of them, it will approve it. It will send email to the security team. Security team, it will change your role from security into IT. And this what it will do, it will remove or revoke all your permissions for the applications for the IT department into the new, and it will give you the permissions for the new department. These are the idea behind the IAM. Okay. We have some points in the identity access management, and we have to understand it. And I think we discussed some of them before, as the authentication, authorization, user management, and central user repository. And these are the important characteristics which you have to think about. Of course, my friends, what I want to highlight here, this is a capsule training. And we mentioned the capsule training, it's only 3 hours. We don't have enough time to cover all these topics in 3 years. But just now, I am giving you the basics. If you are interested more, you can search over the internet and to have more information about these things, because they are very important and it will help you in understanding all these features more. And please, if you have any questions or clarifications, please don't hesitate to contact me. Usually you have my mobile number, you have my WhatsApp connection, you have my email. Send me any clarification or any questions, or if you need any reference for this material. What is the point which I want you to understand here? That this information, of course, it will not be enough to understand the concept 100%. But what we are trying to do now to give you the idea. Then if you have any problem in your organization or your work, then you know what you are searching for. Okay, as we mentioned in the identity and access management, we have a very important 4 topics: authentication, authorization, user management, and central management. What are these components? We will discuss these components in more details.